On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are back at the helm, drinking some festive beers, talking about holiday specials and other things that we're watching on TV. We're also discussing snow and snow shoveling, the holidays, and Porch Pirates. Hey, can you guess exactly where North Dakota ranks when it comes to Porch Pirates? Stay tuned to find out more. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V. Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that hits harder than a finger puppet to the eye. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder! How you doing tonight?
Well, Howard, let me tell you something. I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm here. It's a new year. Is it a new year? I don't know.
Yes. First show of the new year.
I don't know where or when I am. It's one of those things.
Is it because you've been drinking?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Just here. Rearranged a light. And now everything is just different. Now I look deader than I normally do. So there's that. But hopefully more drinking will help.
Yeah. I definitely could go for a cold brew. So,
Well, what do you got over there?
well,
Don't hold me in suspense.
well. Tonight, Kidder, on everybody's favorite What's on Tap, Howard made a beer run, and Howard picked up some stuff, and I have some regrets about what past Howard picked up. But to kick off tonight, from the New Belgium Brewing Company, it is a limited release. It is their Holiday Ale. Yeah.
I thought you learned by the last time.
Nope. It's got flavors of cranberry and spice and everything nice. 7.5% alcohol per volume. 12 fluid ounces. Ale with cranberry, cinnamon, and natural flavors. And that's what we got here. I will say, Kidder, as I open this thing up, I made a call to my dad while I was making said beer run because he's coming over tomorrow night with the family. And I said, hey, because I know he always scraps about what's in my fridge. I said, hey, I'm on a beer run. What would you like me to put in the beer fridge? And he's like, none of that weird you drink on the show. I said, well, that's all on the door. So, just don't drink any of that. Said, but what would you like? He goes, I don't know, something cheap. So.
Something cheap, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is the king of cheap beers. So anyway, I now have Kidder a fridge full of Grain Belt. I was really tempted to pick. What?
It's not cheap anymore.
I know it's not cheap anymore, but it's kind of like, man, I haven't had a Grain Belt in a while, so. Don't think I've even had a Grain Belt on this show. So at some point, folks, get ready. Grain Belt coming. 2023, year of the Grain Belt. Anyway, I was tempted, though, Kidder, to pick up. They did have PBR there. And after, the episode that's releasing this week as we record, we found out PBR won in a blind taste test of a beer. So I was tempted to give it a try. But anyway, back to this thing. I can definitely smell the cranberries. So that could either be good or bad. Oh, It's not the cranberries that make this terrible, Kidder. It's the cinnamon.
Okay.
It's they're a little heavy on the cinnamon. Oh. Oh, that's gonna be it's gonna be a night of regrets, Kidder. A night of regrets. This is terrible. 1 out of 5. this thing is god awful. Oh, I'm glad we are starting the new year, Kidder, with me drinking a terrible beer. Oh, ugh.
Well, as some people say, there's no time like the present.
Yeah. I'm glad this was a limited release so that others don't have to suffer. Oh, I can't wait to talk to my dad tomorrow and tell him I drank a cranberry cinnamon beer on the show. He'll be so proud.
Yeah, I don't know if proud's going to be the right word, but whatever. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Kidder, please tell me that you are drinking something better, or at least as equally bad as what I got.
Well, I do still have the row of lemonade that I need to really dive into, but the local geek happened to stop by with a delivery. And it wasn't just a hello and goodbye. It was a delivery from Idaho.
Yeah.
So how about I'll start with this one. It's a Sockeye Lonesome Larry American Lager. Larry looks awfully lonesome here, don't you think?
Yeah.
He looks very lonely. Look at that ugly out of focus face.
That's okay. On my version, it's very pixelated, so I can't even see the face. It's like the Google is purposely blurring it.
It's going to be one of those episodes. I even unblocked the right port for Google to try and do its thing. So that's pretty disappointing. Great. Well, Lonesome Larry here is a 5% ABV. That's alcohol by volume there, in case you're just new to this show. A 21 IBU and 12-ounce can, aluminum can, and they're an independent craft brewery at sockeyebrew.com. The Sockeye Brewery. They've been brewing since 1996, so hopefully they've figured it out by now. Real information on here. They're located in Boise, Idaho. And the 12 fluid ounces equals 355 milliliters. Oh, Larry has a story. Would you like to hear Larry's story? Lonesome Larry.
Sure.
Story. All right. Well, Larry here, in a race for the very survival of his species, one lone fish prevailed, fueled by fins and wild desire. Not just any wild desire, a wild desire. This dashing salmon from the Sawtooths faced a river odyssey. 900 miles, 8 dams, untold odds, and the journey home. His wild desire could not be damned. They got jokes. This also says 11/22/21. So we'll see what happens here with old Larry. Pop it in there. Keep it nice and cool. Yeah. All right. Man, I got a little close there. Got a little close. So the scent off the top, pretty standard for your American ale and whatnot. Huh. It's a little heavier toward a normal IPA of sorts, but not the beat you over the head level. I have to say that it's not what I was expecting, but with that flavor profile, I'm happily surprised. Say that. So what you working on, Howard?
I was trying to decide if I was going to paint anything tonight. Not. I have this. It's I believe, a hill giant or hill troll, something along those lines. It's a model I have tried to paint like 3 times now, and I just can never find a color scheme that I like, and so I'm trying to fix it to something I'm happy with. So just, I don't know, something to fiddle with while I'm here. But I'm glad to see that the local geek was able to meet up with you and pass on the Idaho beers. So I knew that was coming. So it's good. It's good. I have a beer for the local geek, so I'm hoping I see him sometime. So I got one of those Wild Series sour key lime pie beers for him.
Ah, yes.
So
Very delicious.
So local geek, when you get to this episode, if you haven't seen me or talked to me, I got a beer for you. And we'll have to arrange so that we get that to you. Get that to you. Yes. Kidder, since you asked me about what I was painting, let's start off maybe with a bit of controversy. How about that? A little controversy to start off the episode. And it involves painting. I mentioned last week about the GW's, it's not GW's, but their Golden Demon Compendium Instagram page that was basically taking people's artwork, their models, and posting it up. I learned of a new one, Kidder. It's along the same lines, so I wanted to share it with you. But there's a company out of Spain called Green Stuff World. And they make a lot of different things for working with neatite, green stuff, including, grab one of these wonderful, I absolutely love them. It's an acrylic rolling pin that is textured. And so when you do your basing, you just roll this thing out over your base of green stuff, and it puts a design in and makes your basing look awesome pretty quickly. It's really cool. But they're dealing with a little bit of pushback. There was a Instagram artist. I would say this. He's a miniature painter, posted stuff on Instagram, who he posted a bust that he painted recently, and then was shocked to find it. Green Stuff World, in one of their adverts, used this guy's bust, so his paint job, in their advert. Without his permission. And we know how Kidder feels about that subject. He would call that very simply
theft, plagiarism, douchebaggery.
Yeah. Exactly. But
communism.
But Kidder, it gets a bit worse.
Oh, good.
So the artist reaches out to Green Stuff World and says, "Hey, you're using my miniature, paint job, and not crediting me, not paying me for it. You're using it for your own devices. Please remove." So Green Stuff World takes down the image and soon replaces it with a new image of the same bust with a different color scheme.
Ah, right. Very original. Yeah.
Well, it gets better, Kidder, because it's the internet And there are people who do these sorts of things. Kidder, there were enough people who quickly discerned that what Green Stuff World did was they took the picture of the guy's bust, put it into Photoshop, and basically painted over it to give it a different color scheme. And you can tell because there's some of the weathering details that the guy put into it that match up like perfectly. It's the kind of thing that you can't match. Like for instance, I have this orc here that I was painting in October, and his axes have some metal. I'll put a better picture up for those watching on YouTube. But because of how I did it, there's no way that anybody could take and come up with the exact same weathering rust pattern I have on these, just because I did things like sponge painting with a bit of foam. So you'd have to have that foam in like the exact same pattern. Yeah. So I just thought it was really funny, Kidder, how we had talked about it on the show last week and then was hit with that. And those, again, watching the YouTube, you've seen the photos because I captured all of the photos with this. Yeah, so people are a little upset with Green Stuff World for basically stealing this artist's work and then just trying to Photoshop it to say, well, no, it's ours. It was disappointing for me to see because, as I said, I love their rollers. So kind of makes you like hate to like support a company when they do crap like that.
That Howard Blues is what we call laziness. And a few other things, which I already mentioned.
I mean, how hard is it to ask somebody to showcase their work and credit them? I got to think, Kidder, and I am by no means the Photoshop expert that you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, yes. But I can't imagine that it would be easy to take a photo of a miniature or even a bust and recolor it in Photoshop. So that looked like a totally original paint job. I mean, it would be some work.
It would be somebody's lunch break, at least. We'll put it that way.
Okay, and for me, it would take longer than a lunch break. So it gives you a different idea of the power level between myself and Kidder. Kidder sitting up on the Olympus of Photoshop, rock stars, and I'm just the humble noob who's like, please, sir, teach me something.
Well, I will say I wish that I was at the apex of the creative suite, but I'm not quite there yet.
You're pretty good, Kidder. You're pretty good.
Thanks. Checks in the mail.
I'm always just impressed because I do the thumbnails for this show, and I'm just always impressed. Like, I always worry when I put one up that one of these times I'm just going to get a thing from you. Like, man, you got to stop. Or when I ask you, like, hey, did you see the thumbnail? You're like, yeah. I worry about that because I know my skills are only at a certain level. So,
there's something to be said about the differing levels, but different techniques and different ways to use the software.
Well, I mean, listen, it's not like I hold myself in any sort of regard where I sit here and go, yep, I'm an expert at Photoshop. I'm like, I can make almost anything happen. I might have to look some stuff up to do it, but for the most part, I can do some things with it. I mean, I really haven't done a lot with the software, whereas Kidder, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you've been doing stuff with Photoshop for over 20 years now.
Yes. About 20, 22 years. Been tooling around with the Adobe suite, and so it definitely it's definitely something. Let's say that. I've seen the good and the bad changes in all of their programs. Some good, like dark mode. Very good. Love that. Bad changes. UI that doesn't stay how you want it. There's some things. And also tabs. I hate tabbed view and if Photoshop and Illustrator do it, and not a fan at all. So that the tabbed view is kind of like your internet browser where you have different tabs, but it's for Photoshop imagery or Illustrator, whatever you're working on, right? I like my floating windows. I like my windows because I'll put one here and then one here because I'm taking something from this one and want to put it in this one. I need to have them like that so then I don't have to just drag up and over and around. I know, it's just old school. I also revert all of their stupid new options to like legacy and the old way of doing things because they didn't suck.
I don't know. I guess being kind of newer at it, like I don't mind some of their, like, I don't know. I find the program pretty workable, but I can understand if you've been doing it for as long as you have, you get your settings to a certain, like, where you want to be able to find things. And it's kind of annoying. I was like, I know I can do this. Where's that setting? You know, like, for instance, we use a software called Rediscovery. That's kind of our big master database of everything in our collections, whether it's a document, an object, or an archaeological artifact. And Kidder, just to tell you what kind of week I had, I opened it up because I'm looking for some imagery in archives related to Fort Dilts. And I open it up and I can't find the damn advanced search button. Like, I'm looking everywhere. I'm trying to pull down the menus. I'm like, I know there's an advanced search. Where did this go? I finally sent it to him.
Wait for it. You should have searched for it.
Yeah, I did under help, and they're like, good, just use the button. I'm like, well, where's the button? You know, where's even a spot to add the button? I finally get frustrated. I emailed our IT people. I'm like, hey, where is this? Both of our IT guys came through. They're like, you're just on the landing page because we've added more collections. You have to select the collection. So once you click here, boom, here comes all the options. I'm like, I feel like an idiot.
Here's something to make you feel better. And it's more of a posed as a question. Do you have a Dakota Snowblade?
I do have a Dakota Snowblade.
Okay, I figured that you would, especially being part of the North American Snow Shoveling League. You know, it's one of the key tools in your repertoire. But, you know, first time you got behind the handle, put that thing to use on your massive driveway. Did you have trouble using that, figuring it out?
You know, the thing that I had the most trouble with, and I still to this day, because the way that blade is, it's angled, so the snow as you're pushing it through, you know, the overflow is going to fall off to one side. And I sometimes have to sit and think about, okay, it's that side. That's the side that I need to. So I try and push all the snow kind of the same way so I don't have to go back and clean up. So that's about the only thing. But it is just kind of sometimes mental gymnastics at 6 a.m. trying to go, okay, which side is it? But that's it. That's about the biggest struggle I've had with it.
Okay. Just curious. Because somebody else put it to work. And couldn't figure out why the snow kept coming out on the one side. And I was like, flip it over. And I got, what do you mean? I'm like, pick it up. And like lift it up. And flip the blade the other way. Just show me. I don't know what you mean. So I went on YouTube, because I wasn't home. I went on YouTube and I found the demo video for the Snowblade, and I sent it over. And the response I got after about 4 minutes, now I feel dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, just flip it over.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that part out. Like, I had that. It is just the, you know, remembering sometimes. Or if I've gone back and forth a couple of times, I've been flipping it over and I forget where I'm at and my kind of pattern of stuff, then it's like, wait, no, it's supposed to be this way. I know how to fix it. It's just kind of a sit, look at it. Okay, that's the end. Then okay, yeah, okay. You need to flip that back over. You know, but that's it for like a struggle. And we're talking like maybe 10 seconds of thought here. So it's not like I'm sitting there like in deep panic of like, I can't make it work. But I mean, we all have those moments with stuff.
But you're saying there's a chance. I have breaking sports news, Howard Blues.
All right. Let's hit it with some sports news.
So tonight, the Colorado Avalanche travel to Trashville, take on the Trashville Predators. Close game tonight, in fact. Trashville ended up going up on top 2-1. JT Confer tying it up 2-2, forcing the overtime. Your final in Trashville, the Trashville Predators. 2, your Colorado Avalanche. 3, JT Confer with the overtime goal scored tonight. Georgiev, 38 saves tonight, and UC Soros with the 43 saves. And Matt Duchesne got one of their goals for the Trashville Predators. And, well, you know how we feel about Matt Duchesne.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Anyway, how's that make you feel?
You know, hey, that's it's good. Good to hear that the Avs are doing well. I know that we've had quite a few injuries plaguing us and such. So, although I did see this one, Kidder. I don't know if you did. It's probably a first ever, but it shows the sportsmanship of one Cale Makar. I'm trying to remember who they were. I think it was the Islanders.
Yes,
and
I was watching that game.
Yeah, but Makar goes around the goal, blows a tire, as they say, basically loses his edge, falls, and the ref goes to call a tripping penalty, and good guy Makar is like, no, I'm good. He didn't actually touch me. And save the Islanders from going to the box. So just some good old-fashioned sportsmanship. Most people wouldn't have done that. Most people would have said, great, they're going to the box and we're going to be up a guy. So that was nice to see. It was a classy move, as one would say. A classy move from one Cale Makar.
See, that's what you get from the Avalanche. You know, you get the class, the stature of a Stanley Cup winning team, unlike the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah. Who? I mean, I still don't hear that they're doing well, so they're still trying to figure that one out, and still blaming their goalie Lafleur for most of it, which I just think is kind of sad because, yes, a good goalie can make a difference, but even at that level, if a goalie is missing a shot, there's a good chance that somebody else made some sort of mistake that led to that opportunity. You can't just blame, the puck got on the back of the net, it's all the goalie's fault. Well, what happened to lead to that situation where anybody could put the puck in the net? Those sorts of things that we often forget, and easy to blame the goalie for everything. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Lafleur if their lack of winning continues. Interesting times.
I was just pulling up the old scoreboard tonight to see if they were playing at all, but they might have. I think they had the evening off tonight. Since yes, they played last night. The Sharks beat them 5-2. Gustafsson was in net for them last night, at least officially taking the loss. They were at the SAP Center in San Jose, which has a capacity of 17,500, and their attendance was only 13,000, around 75% capacity.
Well,
So let's take a look at some of their stats in the roster here. Kaprizov leads the team in points with 43. The next closest on their team, Zuccarello with 37, and then Erikssonek at 27. So they really don't have a lot of people doing much. Tyson Jost is also listed on here yet as center, even though he plays for Buffalo. So that's interesting. Unless this is just for the season.
It might be for the season, and that it's kind of sad when one of the highest people on your scoring is no longer on your team.
Yeah. All right. So Marc-Andre Fleury, he has a 285 goals against per game. His save percentage is still up there at .901. So there's that. And this year he's 12-7-1 and has one shutout. So Fleury is doing okay. I mean, a 90% save percentage redundancy. I mean, 12-7. He's got a positive record. And Fleury being the, former Olympian and how he's played for a number of teams, not bad. Although right now Gustafsson has a .916 save percentage.
I mean, I'm not saying that like Fleury is having like a perfect year. I always just kind of find it interesting when it's like, like losing falls completely on the goalie, and it's like, well, but how many chances and all of that. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit too easy on goalies, but I also think goalie is like the hardest position. I don't think they often get as much credit as they deserve. And Rude Boy, I'll be expecting my check for sucking up later this year.
Yeah. Come on. Get with it. Flipped over to the Avs here as Justus Annunen, one of our goalies. He was born in 2000, Howard.
We be old, man. We be old.
That's killing me. Let's look at the stats. So right now, Mikko Rantanen is killing it. He has 40 points and 22 goals in his 31 games played. So I don't know, what is that? 75% of the games he's played in, he scored a goal. Obviously, we've had a bunch of people floating through the lineup because, well, 80% of the team has been injured at some point. You were wondering about the goaltending. I know you were, Howard. So as a team, we have a better save percentage than the Wild by 2%. Georgiev, who I feel is our starting goaltender, and I think so does Jared Bednar because he has played 22 games and Francouz has played 9. So Francouz, I guess you could call him our backup goalie, is at a .913 save percent, and Georgiev is at a .924. So I am happy with that at 14-6-2, and Francouz at 4-5-0. Not terrible, you know what I'm saying?
No,
We're also third in the Central Division. In the conference, we are 6th, and overall in the league, we're at 14th. Go Avs.
nice to be doing well, for a bit of a change compared to, I think, how we've tended to be in years past. I mean, I know last year we won the cup, but we've had some rough years, Kidder. So it's nice to be doing well. Nice to be doing well. And we're winning games. I mean, I know we've had quite a few that have gone to overtime and shootout and things like that, but at least we're winning, That
Yeah.
I'll always take.
I'll take the W, even if it goes to overtime or to a shootout. And then, like the other day, you get an amazing shootout goal, the only goal in the game. Monster win. I shared it on the old book face because that was a good one. But anyway, go Avs go. Keep on kicking ass. Very happy for that.
Well, Kidder, I heard an interesting stat the other day. Not related to hockey, but I thought it was worth sharing, and I really should pull this up. Anyway, Kidder, just to get back to there was a study out. I was trying to find it so that we could share a bit more. There was a study about, of course, it's at the time that we're recording this, it's right before Christmas weekend. And of course, porch piracy is a big deal. This year alone in 2022, I think it's like 260 million packages have been stolen nationwide. But there was a study that actually found that our state of North Dakota, Kidder, guess where we ranked for porch piracy?
7.
Not bad. We were 3rd based off of, and this is of course based on per capita. So we fell behind. I want to say it was Washington, D.C. and I forget the other state that beat us out. I want to say it was California, but no, it was Vermont. So it was Washington, D.C., Vermont, and then it was North Dakota. That was based off of per capita. And this is why I was trying to find the study so that we could have more fun stats, but Google's failing me. But yeah, I was a little shocked to find out that North Dakota was 3rd. We don't tend to think of that as being a huge problem in this state. We always talk about North Dakota nice and such.
No,
I know I've been the victim of porch. Yeah, I was gonna say I've been the victim of porch piracy. I had some stuff stolen back when we lived in the condo. Kidder, you ever have anything go missing off your porch?
Not off my porch, but when I lived in the apartment, I did. I had a box delivered, and at that point, they normally wouldn't come. Either they wouldn't come into the building and they drop them by the mailboxes, or they would, and if somebody let them in and drop them by your door. So I got a package from Best Buy, and it was delivered, and I come home and it's not by my door. So I go looking through the building, down to the mailboxes, not by the mailboxes. Well, that's weird. I decided to take the elevator back up to the 2nd floor instead of the steps because it was closer to go to the elevator than around to the stairs. Come up and I see some like ripped up cardboard around the corner, like out of the corner of my eye. Walk over and or look over and see that it's like a ripped apart box. I'm like, go over, pick it up. It was the box that held my stuff, which was like an 18-pack of the Caramel Delights K-Cups. And it was all ripped apart. Somebody took the goods. Not thrilled. I mean, it's K-Cups, right? So somebody got hosed because they saw the Best Buy logo on the label, and oh man, this is gonna be great. Oh, it's Keurig K-Cups. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but I hate people for that reason. Like, buy your own stuff. Work, get a job, go do your own thing. Leave other people's stuff alone.
When we got hit, the scary thing was that Lefty was home. It was shortly after we had Junior. It was the summer after Junior was born. And she had just got done feeding him. He was taking a nap on her. They were sitting in my chair, and they heard the doorbell from the delivery man dropping it. She didn't get up to get it because safe neighborhood, never really had a problem with it. And I got home like 20 minutes after this package was supposedly dropped off, and it was gone. And the next day I found the boxes. It was back behind our neighbor's air conditioning unit. So, what they ended up stealing this. The sad thing was we had bought some stuff to go in a basket for a charity auction. So, like, you know, that was kind of the frustrating thing. It was like, you know, it wasn't even stuff for us. It was stuff we were putting up for charity to support a good cause, and people stole it. Ever since then, though, I mean, because you were kind enough to come over after that, set up a doorbell cam and boost my security, and I still need to do that at my current place. Next summer project. But yeah, it's just such a terrible crime, you know. It's sad, and it's sad how many people are doing it. My sister-in-law got hit last year. Bunch of teenagers, and they had a doorbell cam, and they caught them on camera, and those guys did get caught. So, which is good, because I don't think most Porch Pirates actually get caught. I don't know exactly. Kidder, you have a few more ties into the criminal justice world than I do, so maybe you have a better sense of how many of these folks get caught. But I have a feeling a good number of them don't.
What I can say is a lot of the people stealing stuff are common in that game. So they're typically known to law enforcement and will get caught sooner or later, whether when they're pawning stuff or when they're actually caught with those items in the area. So still the best thing to do is, if it happens to you, file a police report, turn over any video that you might have, surveillance type stuff. Even if you have, like FedEx, for instance, now is taking a photo of where they leave packages. So you can confirm with a timestamp as to when the package was left and where it was left. And then if you have a doorbell or camera system, that's obviously an even better thing to have, not only just to know if somebody's at your place and then you can talk to them, but for these instances too. Great to catch those people doing stupid stuff. So, you know, sooner or later, I'd say a majority of them get caught. There, you know, will be some who always get away with whatever crime, you know, but time's on law enforcement side. You know, the crooks have to get it right every time. Law enforcement has to just get it right once. On the other side of people being stupid, one of the local law enforcement agencies holds a yearly toy drive, essentially, and there's a kind of a qualification process for people to be eligible. So they don't ask for your, you know, income statement or anything like that, but they really want to make sure that the people who are requesting toys for their children are requesting it because they need the toys for their children, right? So they've been doing it for several years, at least. I don't know how many years it's been now, but this year, some people either got a hold of the list or through other means started contacting people or set up a fake number completely and said people can turn in their gifts here. Well, people had been turning in stuff to this location or to them or however it ended up working. I didn't look at all the details of the case. Essentially, people were defrauded out of almost $2,000 worth of merchandise that these two individuals from a nearby town were then selling on eBay. So, again, not cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Kidder, are you familiar with Mark Roper at all?
Doesn't ring a bell.
He's a YouTuber. He's a former NASA engineer. And if you haven't seen these, Kidder, I highly recommend these videos to you. But for the last 5 years, this guy has, since he was a victim of porch piracy, he's been building high-tech, sophisticated glitter bombs and disguising them as packages to be stolen and basically pranking the people who are stealing these items. He's done it for 5 years now. I mean, and he keeps upping the game on it. I mean, it started with like releasing a pound of the world's finest glitter. Like instantly you pull this thing out and it just shoots it everywhere. He started adding fart spray. His last version of it, like actually it wasn't just like a small bit of fart spray. It like emptied like a liter reservoir of this stuff out.
Liter of cola.
Yeah.
Do you have liter of cola?
Yeah. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, they're like, if you've ever been a victim of this, it'll make you feel good to see him kind of getting some revenge on some of these people who are doing this and, trying to make life worse for everybody. But yeah, I watched his newest one for this year, and I mean, he just keeps upping the game of what he does, and it is great because part of what he does, Kidder, is he actually gets cell phones, and they're rigged to basically upload footage to the cloud. So he captures the reaction of these thieves as they deal with these glitter bombs. It's awesome. It's there's a lot of other great stuff on his channel. He does some really kind of cool engineering science stuff, but you got to check out the glitter bomb videos. And then when you're done with that, go to the Squirrel Ninja Warrior because those videos are also pretty awesome. So that's there. My plug for somebody else's YouTube channel. Tis the season to give to others who don't really need my help and promoting their stuff.
And don't give back to us.
Yeah. But I mean, one of those just super nice guys, and it's kind of cool to see what he's doing with that, and it's been kind of fun to watch. So justice, sweet, sweet justice. Oh, get her this beer. It's not gotten any better.
Aren't you done with it yet?
I'm trying, man. I know you just chugged yours or are chugging yours. I'm trying, man. This thing, it's so that I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus. Which is sad because I'm hoping we do a What's on Tap too, because I have a second beer here. And damn it, Kidder, I'm hoping it's better. I'm hoping.
All right. I hope it's better for you too.
Yeah.
Speaking of something better, it claims that it's 47 minutes left in uploading, and then you'll have a little something.
Ooh, a little something. Yeah, I mean, we're getting closer and closer, Kidder, to the big episode 100. So, hey, let me use this moment as we're talking kind of about this stuff to remind people we got a contest going on where you can win your very own Beer, Blues, and BS pint glass. Again, all you have to do that is be a subscriber to our YouTube, share your favorite Triple B video on your Facebook. Just make sure you tag us so that we know you did it. And on episode 100, we will do a live drawing. So check the show notes for when that deadline is, because Current Howard has not had the time to do the math and hasn't edited far enough in last week's episode to put that up. So check the show notes or on the bottom of your screen or up in the corner, wherever Future Howard put it, to see when that deadline is. We'll be able to announce that next time. But yes, if you're in the audio listeners, check those show notes for your chance to win a lovely pint glass from us as we celebrate 100 episodes of the Triple B, the show that just keeps on giving.
I mean, that's a way to put it. Yeah, it keeps on giving.
Yeah,
Keeps coming back.
For like 100 weeks, Kidder, we've given top quality content to people who have chosen not to watch it.
Yeah. The best show that nobody's watching.
Yes. That's all right. Their loss. It's okay. It's a good excuse for us to get together every week and have these chats and drink some really terrible beer.
Yeah, because content, as you like to say.
Yeah. Okay. I chugged that, which might have been a bad decision.
What?
Oh. Oh. I'm breaking out a little. Luckily, I have some brisk iced teas here so I can cleanse my palate of that garbage. Oh. Ugh. Ugh. New Belgium, that was a miss. Ugh. You know, the thing is, and I do feel sorry, because I'm sure that they had this idea, like, we're going to make a holiday beer. People will love it. But because I've learned a little bit about the beer making process from, the local geek, I realized that it's a bit of a guessing game as to what this might come out and taste like. So makes me wonder, like, if they tested this and they really thought, yep, that's good, that's a holiday beer, or if they just said, well, crap, this is what came out and we need to put it on the shelves so it's out there for our holiday special. I'm just glad I only bought the...
We made 11,000 gallons of this. We have to sell it now.
Yeah. I mean that's I do wonder about that. And boy, Kidder, I'm glad I just bought a single can and that I'm not like stuck with like a 12 pack of that. Oh.
Yeah, typically I'm happy that I only have like one of them as well.
Yeah. There's not many of these that we've had that I'm like, yeah, sign me up for a 12 pack of that. Yeah.
Now, one that is that good and should be in a 12 or 24 pack, and that we can find it here, is Mountain Time. New Belgium's Mountain Time. The crushable, tasty lager. It just so happens I have 2 left. But yeah, look at that beauty. Ah, yeah. Wish I could get this in a solo pack, because it's cold and refreshing as snow melt in spring. And it's brewed only with the finest ingredients by New Belgium Brewing.
I actually haven't had a Mountain Time, so I'll have to try it sometime.
Maybe you talking up the right tree here, Howard Blues. I mean, might be able to help you out with that. Know what I'm saying?
I see. We'll have to talk a trade.
Yeah, you might have to come down for the Royal Rumble.
I was kind of thinking that I might come down for the Royal Rumble. One, because it's the Royal Rumble, and I do enjoy the Royal Rumble. Two, I have your Christmas gift. I need to get it to you. So that'd be a good time to do the gift exchange. Three, I may have picked up some kind of weird experimental jerky because I'm like, well, this is a thing, and Kidder and I got to try this. So there's that. So, I mean,
but we still haven't been able to find the Pocky one chip challenge anymore.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just wait for 2023 to try. But now we know. Now we know, Kidder, a couple of things. One, you got to get them before they're gone, and two, we need to buy more than one so that we can get in on the whole speculation market and finally have a profitable run of this show. We've clearly learned. We actually got a comment, Kidder, on one of our videos from somebody who had done the challenge 3 times. I'm like, well, good for you. I don't know that I would put myself up through that 3 times.
JS Gunslinger would.
I mean, he would, but he's a different sort of he's not your average person who's doing this chip challenge.
He's not average, right? Yes,
right.
Way above average.
When it comes to spicy food, yes, that's just that. I mean, I'm sure that he would sit and just eat like a bag of those things, I totally get that. Yeah, I mean, because I've had
this is a good idea.
Yeah. Because I've had the Pocky or whatever their name is. I've had their ghost pepper ones because you bought those. They weren't enjoyable. They were spicy, but there was no complementary flavor to that. It was heat for heat's sake. I don't mind spicy, but I want a little something else with it. A little extra flavor profile.
Yeah, there wasn't much flavor. It was cornmeal and your mouth burns. Trash. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll get our hands on that this next year. We now know, one, that it exists, and two, where it's sold. So we'll make this happen. When I see it, I will pick one up. Right away. The romantic blue lights of holiday.
Exactly. Holiday gas stations. Hope to the best gas station coffee anywhere. Except for those really large, truck stop gas stations that have a caribou in them. That's kind of cheating. But just your normal gas station coffee, can't go wrong with Holiday. Yeah. I actually had
Dunkin' right now. That'd be good.
I actually haven't been having a lot of Holiday coffee lately because I got my coffee maker back up and running. So I've been making my own coffee at home and taking it with me to work. It's nice.
I was going to ask if you're feeling okay. I mean,
it's listen, I mean, it saves a little bit on the money, to make my own coffee at home, and saving a little couple of bucks every week, more money that I can put towards other things,
this show.
Pretty much.
Let's increase our production value from $5 to $7.
Woo!
Man, we got some great advances ahead of us in 2023. Watch out! Coming at you. One of the, we might have to just do one of these live to show people how much they miss. As in, this is a live to tape show, so we can fix it in post. If we did it live, just imagine.
I don't know how it would go live. One, would anybody really want to stay up this late to be there live for it? That's always a question. I mean, I don't know. It could be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, because then we could also get get our friend Midnight Rocker 101 in on it. He could live stream it on Twitch. It could be a thing. It's like turning over a whole new leaf in 2023.
Yeah, I don't know though how I'd feel about us becoming like constant streamers of it. Just because like everything that I've ever seen about streaming says that you got to be like consistent and on time and do it regularly, and like I just can't ever guarantee that right now, Kidder, because like normally we try to record at 9:00, but I was still fighting kids trying to get them to go to sleep at 9:00, so you know I
was just saying once.
I know
I can't stand that kind of commitment. Come on. We've only been doing this for almost 100 episodes.
Right. You know, we've only had to phone it in a couple, dozen episodes.
Minimum.
I mean, doing it once, I would probably be down for. And you know what, Kidder? Here's a thought. Maybe we try and figure this thing out. Because, yes, we're coming up on the big episode 100, but coming up here in April, around April 11th, will be the 2-year anniversary of the show. So maybe we do the 2-year anniversary live.
F it.
Maybe that would be the time to try that. One of these big milestone anniversary. Plus, that gives us a couple months to figure out the whole live thing. Because I think there'd be some things that we'd have to figure out.
I can make it work. I got the technology.
Good. I'm glad you do, because I have no idea how we would make that work. I'm not going to lie.
Not like I don't have 22 years of experience. So
listen,
we'll make it work.
I'm sure we will.
We'll make something work.
Yes, we will.
It'll
I'm
be
absolutely
something.
sure we will.
When will it happen? Not today.
No.
Later.
Yeah, later. Well, Kidder, we're both out. Do you want to do a What's on Tap round 2?
Well, I do have to say that I'm thirsty again.
I am too.
That
and
beer made me sneeze.
And I'm low on tea, so a second beer would not disappoint. Not disappoint.
Mr. T pities a fool who's low on tea.
Yeah. So
what do you have?
Well, Kidder, I'm sure this has got to be better. Sticking with the kind of seasonal beers, this time we're going to the Shells Brewery for their Snowstorm Mahogany Lager. Yeah. Let's see. Brewed to endure since 1860, a storied legacy of fine beers. Guided by tradition, this is 6.7% alcohol by volume. They say there's a story in every drop. As every Midwesterner knows, no two snowstorms are alike. So we change it up every year because it showcases our ability to adapt to the times. Back in the olden days, it was no small feat to take our beer by wagon to the local establishments, especially in the dead of winter. We had to find inventive ways to make sure the beer arrived and our patrons didn't run the well dry. This meant long hauls and even leaving beer unattended at the bottom of the hills when it was too heavy for the horses to make it up in one trip. This was brewed and canned by August Shell Brewing Company out of New Ulm, Minnesota. And that's pretty much all the details on there. I think I had this last year. I think I did. I can't remember. There's a spreadsheet for that. Smells like a lager. Not bad. Not bad. It's a nice dark beer there. Dark, but not like Cold Smoke dark. But yeah. I mean, it doesn't really have much else for like the flavor profile. But it's better than the first beer I had. Okay, I can cruise through the rest of the show on that. That'll be good. I probably got to give it a rating. Otherwise, the local geek has to figure out something else to put in that column. Yeah, I'd give it a 3. Average. It's an average beer. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. So, Kidder, what you pulling out of that fridge next?
Well, let's see. Might as well stick with the Idaho. What we got here? Yeah, it seems like time for the year. This is the Laughing Dog Loyal Companion Cream Ale. Kind of an interesting can there. Dog bringing you the can. Mm-hmm. Okay, 4% alcohol by volume is 12 fluid ounces. There's not a whole lot on the can here, but it's made in Pend Oreille, Idaho by Laughing Dog Brewing. They're online at laughingdogbrewing.com. You can also visit their tap room in Pend Oreille, Idaho. So there's that. This one was made in July of 2022. Not a whole lot on the can. Get it into the koozie here. The Sioux Yeti. Open this up. Give it a scent. Smells almost very similar to the last one. Very ale-like. Oddly enough, it is very similar. Nothing alike, but very similar. You could kind of taste a little bit of the cream, and it is, that lager, but darker beer. I don't know. It's okay. It's not as creamy as I'd like it to be, I guess. Like a Guinness shake. Oh, yeah. Delicious. Well, that was not too bad. I mean, a good 3. 3 out of 5. Not too bad.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Longer that I taste it, and the more that I taste, I get a little bit of the cream kind of in the back palate, secondary palate, if you will. But yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
What else is on your mind there, Howie Blues?
Kidder, it's one of those things. It's been quite the week, and I know I say that every week that it's been a week. So much fact, Kidder, I actually it's been a week. I bought the T-shirt. Actually, I got the long sleeve on this one, but yeah, there you go.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I just got it. It came in the mail yesterday. So
awesome.
Figured I'd rock it tonight. It's the official debut. And it's comfy. Yeah. I'm sitting down here, quite comfortable, enjoying it. But yeah, it's been a week, as I said, as we're recording this, we're going into Christmas and we're dealing with like our third blizzard of the year. In fact, Kidder, is this a different blizzard? Like, okay, I'm picking on your meteorological mind here because last week when we were recording with Big D, we were talking about that blizzard. It just seems like this one has just continued. Would you all consider this all one big snowstorm, or is this a couple different snowstorms? How do you meteorologists break this thing apart?
Well, the one that lasted through midweek was still part of the overall same system. So yes, that was the same blizzard. That was really a 5-day blizzard. Not just with the snow, but then the wind. Now, as it moved away, we were in a transitional period because we were between two of the systems, dragging a lot of that northern cold air over us, which then gives us, as you see behind us on the KRDN Eyewitness Weather Now channel, the current temperature of -10. That's the air temp. Right now, wind chill sitting down around 38 below zero Fahrenheit with the 7-mile-per-hour breeze. And Howard, as you can see, off to the west between Dickinson, Glendive, and heading up into north central Montana, a wee bit of snow heading our way. That's expected to hit us on Sunday as we have a Clipper system moving through. The good news, we will see some temperatures between the mid-20s and the mid-30s. The bad news, the storm will be rolling through. We'll get a mix of rain, sleet, potentially freezing rain, and yes, more snow.
Yeah.
So that'll be overnight Saturday into Sunday for your Christmas Eve, I guess. Christmas. That'll be Christmas. Just don't really plan on going in. No, the 25th is actually Christmas Day. I don't know what the hell day it is because whatever. Rules and Christmas. Stay home on Sunday. How about that? I'm giving you the ability and the suggestion to stay the hell home.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, especially since the family's all coming over to our place for Christmas. So,
Oh, well, you'll get to stay home. There you go.
yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how much they stay or how long they stay. So,
Well, I mean, let's be honest, right? The quicker that they get the hell out, the better.
there are
I
some,
know.
there are some members I don't mind. There are other members that, yes, Kidder, I do feel that way about. You wouldn't be wrong in that sense. So, in fact, I'll tell you something once we stop recording about that. 'Cause,
Oh boy, here we go.
yeah. Well, I got to talk to somebody about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're about the best person to talk to, but
About the best.
but the thing about it is you don't really want to record it because what if they ever did listen or somebody did listen?
Sure, evidence. Mm-hmm.
Right, I mean, I doubt they listen. That would. Anyway, I'm almost giving too much away. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm hoping that we don't get too much more. At this point, it is what it is. But I'm kind of tired of the storms. Like I'm very much like it can dump. We can have like one big snow event. That's fine. But one, and then we can clean it up, and our driveways can get clear, and the streets can get clear, and people can stop driving like friggin' idiots.
Good luck with that.
Jeez. I'm glad we brought this up, Kidder, because I got to tell you this. What day was that? Tuesday. My father-in-law and I have been carpooling to work. Because my mother-in-law watches my kids and she watches them here at my house. She doesn't like driving in this kind of weather. So it's been working out they drive in, and then me and him, since we both work at the Capitol, we carpool down. But then she gets in here. I have childcare, and we do that. Tuesday night, we're coming back, and weather wasn't even particularly bad Tuesday. You know, it was cold, but roads were pretty fine as long as you drove on them like a normal person, you know, with some caution. But we were coming down right by my house. The road we were coming into my neighborhood, you kind of come down a hill to get towards my house. And as we're coming over, we're cresting this hill, we're looking down. Here's a car on the same street we're on going sideways because they had turned a corner too fast and was, you know, like drifting the corner. It's like, okay, don't go that fast. This is all pretty much like compacted snow that's been polished to ice. Just take it easy, dude. We literally get to my house. We get inside. We're standing there talking as my mother-in-law puts on her boots and winter coat. And kidder, I watched somebody go down my street. They try to turn at the next street. They're going too fast, and you watch them go sideways into the snowbank that's plowed there. All of this within like 10 minutes. It's like, and I'm in a residential zone. I mean, it's like,
it doesn't matter. Stupidity doesn't judge. Doesn't know.
I just don't get it. You know, and both of these, one was a truck, one was an SUV. It's like, I get that you have these vehicles, but that doesn't make you invincible. And you should drive cautiously. But
yeah, it's not going to happen. On my way home tonight, somebody took the turn too wide and almost drove off the road because they were looking at their phone. And it was slippery. Idiots. Stop being idiots.
Don't do this.
That's the one I don't get, is the constantly looking at your phone while driving. I'm sorry. I like my car. I don't need to wreck my car. I don't want to have to try and buy a new car. I don't want to have to go deal with insurance. I don't want to possibly injure somebody. There's enough reasons why not to pick up your phone while you're driving. I don't get it.
That's how she goes, Howie Blues.
I mean, it's things like this. It makes me just sound like I'm an old man saying, "Kid, get off my lawn." But you know, it really, I've never understood people's need to, like, I'm going to sit here and text while I'm driving. Don't do that. I don't know if you're like me, kidder. If I'm sitting in my cube at work and I'm trying to type an email, and even if I'm on the phone with somebody, the number of times that then like I get off the phone and I look at my email and I see like, hey, the sentence that I was typing is now wrong because I started typing what I was saying to the person instead of what I meant to say in the email. I mean, what makes you think that I could text and drive?
Well, I know you can't. I normally don't end up with that. I ended up with having my door knocked on every however long. And it's always when I'm in the middle of something else comes up. Always in the middle of 18 things. Or I'm on a webinar. Have you ever been on a webinar, like a web call?
Oh, yeah.
And like you're the only one on the web call with the other person, and you're supposed to be on this because, you know, it's your responsibility, and you're sitting there with the microphone and you're clearly talking to a camera and listening and and you have people like at your door like and I'm like, write me an email, I don't know. And they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, well, you'll figure it out one way or another, I guess, because it'll be a bit.
Yeah. See, and I don't have an office door, kidder. I just have a cubicle, so I get a lot of times where have them in webinars, and somebody comes and they start talking to you, and it's like, okay, let me just stop listening to this webinar because I'm talking to somebody in my cube.
Yeah. Well, people are important. So, anyway, what's a resolution for you for the brand new year? Got anything that you want to put out into the universe?
Well, I mean, we did some of these last week. Most of mine,
like the present.
Most of mine were gaming related, and we're actually about trying to do things like paint an entire board game, which I'm kind of working on with this orc that I'm right now painting toenails on. But if you're looking for a more personal, I don't know. I've never really been into the whole resolution thing. I don't know. One of those things of, if I'm going to make a change in my life, I'll make a change because I feel the need to do so. But why wait for, hey, it's a new year, gonna finally do that thing I've always wanted to do. So I don't know. That's why a lot of mine are more hobby related, and it's more like, hey, I'd want to try to get one of my board games completely painted. I think it'd be cool to sit down at the table to play a board game and hey, look, it's got all painted miniatures. That just seems cool to me. And so it's a good goal to set, but it's not I want to lose weight this year, so I'm going to start trying to lose weight now. It's well, what really is stopping you from doing that right now, if you're feeling that way?
The date on the calendar.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to say that I want to make some money. I want to go some nice places, have some enjoyable times, and do the things that I enjoy more between work and play. That's kind of a resolution, but not. So there. I resolve to resolve.
I resolved to basically enjoy life, which isn't a bad goal. I think a lot of us would do a little bit better if we all kind of said, hey, we're going to try to just enjoy life a little bit more.
I try to. I don't know how well it's going to go, but I'll try. So is that beer treating you better than the last one?
It definitely is better than the last one. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I was that last one was a struggle to get through. That's yeah. There we go. That'll work. Get ready, Kidders. Your favorite sound? Howard shake and paint. The reason you can hear these are army painter ones, and they put metal ball bearings in the actual container, so that's what you're hearing is that metal ball bearing.
Little BBs.
Yeah. No, this beer's better. I think I've had this one before on the show, but as it said, they brew it differently every year, so take it for what you will. Kidder, I mean, we're in the holiday season. Doing any of the old holiday parties or things like that? Or
parties? No, I already skipped the main one, and we'll get stuck doing the other one. I try not to, but yeah. I would rather be at home here in my element, playing games, hanging out, doing things to relax, not being forced to go places and forcibly quote unquote enjoy things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you. I mean, there are times where I have been like, yeah, I wish I could just stay at home. I get you in that sense of sometimes you just want to be at home and enjoy being there and doing the things you want to do or the projects you need to do or, you know, I hear you.
Especially
don't
with
really-
a lot of people who, you know, the 5+ day blizzard, no work, no travel, so they stayed at home. What did I do? I had to go to work. No choice. Have to go to work.
Yeah.
So I went to work and I didn't get to come home early.
Lefty had to go in because of her job. Being a nurse, she doesn't get quite as, you know, she's got to go. It's kind of the thing and such. Me, I didn't have to go, but I tried to go if I can make it in. There's something about like I can work at work and I know I get stuff done. Working from home, I can't. I had to do that last week Friday. I worked from home. I got stuff done, but I also had a lot of interruptions. You know, because it was so easy for Lefty to go, I need to use the bathroom. Let me take the baby down to Howard. Well, great. I mean, yes, I can hold the baby. That's fine, but then I don't get any of my work done. So it's, Kidder, I've been floating this idea around. Let me see what you think of it.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's, I had a coworker who was lamenting to me because thanks to COVID, our agency, along with a lot of state agencies, switched over to teleworking for quite a while. And because of that, now when we have these snow events, especially if you have a teleworking agreement, you're expected to telework. I did not sign a teleworking agreement because teleworking doesn't work for me. So I usually get to take the day off if I take annual leave, which fine. Or I get admin leave if they close the Heritage Center. So there's some of that. But here's my thought. Because people drive like idiots during these snowstorms, or people go out when they really shouldn't go out, my thought is, why can't we get to a point where we just say, yep, we are going to have a complete snow day, and only the essential people have to go to work. You know, and like if you're a doctor, a nurse, you need to go. There's snowplow guys, you have to go. But everybody else, if you don't have to go, you shouldn't go. You know, the stores wouldn't have to be open. And if they weren't open, then the workers wouldn't be out, people wouldn't be out. And use that to, you cut down on that. There'd be less people getting stuck, less car accidents, less. Everybody just stayed home for a couple of days. Let the street crews get the streets cleared and back to normal. Would that be so wrong? That's my gist. I mean, gas stations, you'd still be able to get gas if you needed it, but couldn't we get to that point where there's, hey, here are the essential things we need. The people who keep the power on, the people who, save people's lives as a doctor or a nurse, but otherwise get everybody else off the streets.
Yeah. Probably 80% of the people out didn't need to be out. Same people with the idea that they need to go traveling on highways when they're either closed or no travel advised. And then they get stuck in the middle of nowhere. And then they expect somebody to come pick them up. Because, you have a quarter tank of gas and you don't have a winter coat or hat or gloves. Come get me because I'm too dumb to prepare. Or heed the warnings and stay where I was. Yeah. These businesses that force people to come in, not a fan. Because I wasn't essential either.
Yeah. I mean, why do we feel the need to make people do that? I don't get. It's like, why can't we just let everybody stay home and stay safe? And you know what? Everybody gets a snow day.
On the contrary to that, the working from home, that needs to stop. That needs to disappear. Because as you alluded to, difficult for you to work at home, and you're not milking the system like a good majority of workers are who aren't in your situation, because they're at home, they're comfortable, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, as long as I move my mouse and answer my web call, I'm working. What are you really doing at home?
Here's my thing about it, and this is I'm picking on myself here. Part of the reason why I don't like the whole telework is where I would end up teleworking from. My teleworking space is my painting desk right here where I am sitting. Do you know how hard it is to sit here and be like, hey, I have time and I'm sitting on my desk. I got minis I could paint. I mean, that's a temptation. I just don't feel like I'm as productive when I'm here. Plus, it also soils the goodness that is my painting desk with, hey, I'm sitting here doing work. I mean, I understood when like the pandemic happened, and yes, we did it, but gosh, I hated that too. And I would agree with you, Kidder. I was one of those guys who during that time I was documenting what I was doing every day, because I feared that I was going to get into a situation where someone was going to come out of the pandemic and people were going to be like, all these people who were teleworking, they weren't doing as much as they should have. We're going to cut their pay by X amount. Now, would that really happen? Probably not. But, I worried about those things. So, man, I was documenting everything I was doing. I was making sure I got my 8 hours in. I hated every moment of it because it's like I know I could be doing more stuff, or I'd get more stuff done if I could just work at work. I'm very much of that mindset. Work at work, home at home. Even with this, Kidder, I've taken the last 2 days off of work. One, because my mother-in-law was sick, so I didn't have childcare on Thursday, so I took the day off. I'd always planned to take the day off because, we're hosting Christmas Eve, Christmas. I have stuff to do around the house. I still spent probably an hour each day answering phone calls and emails because my sites are open. There are questions about closures and things like that, and I'm dealing with those sorts of problems. And you know what? I don't mind because I understand it's like part of my job, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm supposed to be on vacation or taking care of my kids and having to send emails, all that. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the teleworking, and I have a hard time believing anybody else is really productive when they're working from home, because it's because I look at myself. I know I struggled to make sure I got my 8 hours in and could show that I was being productive. And I was being kind of fearful and cautious because I'm a cautious person. I just have a hard time believing that everybody else who is teleworking and still teleworking is doing the same. I mean, I haven't put the TV up down here, but could you imagine the temptation as I sit here and supposed to be working on something, but it's like, man, I could put my TV on and put a show on in the background.
Oh, I know. You'd clearly be staring at the KRDN Eyewitness Weather Now channel that streams 24/7. I know it's tough, but at least this gives you some current information.
I'd probably actually be watching, because this is what I've been watching recently when I've had time, would be Achievement Hunter's Let's Play of the game The Raft. I don't know if you're familiar with Raft, Kidder. You ever heard of that one?
I don't think so, but I gave you an out, and and there you go, being honest again.
Yeah. Yep. That's me. The Raft, it's an interesting game. It's a crafting game. You start and you are on a little 2x2 raft in the middle of this endless ocean, and you float around and you have a hook and you start fetching trash and such out of the ocean, and you use it to build your raft and build things like water purifiers and grills for food. And the longer you play, the more stuff you get, and you can start building more and more complex things. And there's a whole story about what happened. Why is this world now an endless ocean and all of that? It's interesting. It's an enjoyable watch. It's kind of like perfect, like background to while you're doing something else. It's the kind of thing I would put on while painting miniatures and such. So I've been watching that, rewatching it. Truthfully, I watched it when it first came out, so kind of rewatching it and enjoying kind of that group of people playing together and the humor and all of that. Mm-hmm. Although I'm getting to the point, and it's about the point where I dropped off with the series last time, where throughout the game there's a shark that's constantly plaguing you. So if you try to like dive into the water and you spend too much time in the water, it bites you. It eats away at your raft constantly, so you have to constantly defend from it. But I've gotten to the point now where they have like absolutely no problem killing the shark. So then the threat is gone. And so then it's like, it cuts away some of the drama of it. You know, they almost get to that point of the game where it's like, and we're just too good and nothing is threatening anymore. And there's no real stakes involved in this. So that's about where I quit last time. So we'll see. We'll see if I continue on. Oh, the missus and I watched something interesting, Kidder.
What was that?
We watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Have you watched this, Kidder?
Yes. Good.
We can talk about it. Audience beware, there may be spoilers. We'll try to avoid them, but Kidder, what was your take on the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
It was very Marvel. It was a little random, but I had some laugh out loud moments.
I thought that's a good summary. I enjoyed it. It was just a little too goofy at points for me. You know, some of these characters you've seen them as constantly being serious. And so to kind of see them in this, so I'll use as a great example, Dave Bautista's portrayal of Drax. You see him in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's very stern and very serious, and of course very literal. And now when you see him, he's like, the character is portrayed far more as, it's portrayed far more like he's a dumb character.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of bugs me a little bit. The other thing, and this to me, a bit of a plot hole. Like, I get that it was done for a joke. So here you go. This is the one spoiler, because I knew I just wanted to talk about this. So, a spoiler, if you don't want to hear this, skip ahead like 30 seconds or so. Kidder, did you note this part? There's the part where Drax throws Mantis over the gate, which is humorous. But she asks him to throw her. But later, during the chase scene, you see both of them jumping high enough that they could have easily cleared the gate, so there was no point for the throwing joke.
Yes.
That bugged me a little.
Yeah, I was wondering how they had the magical jets on the bottom of their feet to jump over all the height like that.
Yeah. So that was meh. Anyway, end of spoiler. But yeah, we watched it. We had a good time. Enjoyed it. It was good for what it was, but yeah, some of the goofiness of some of the characters it just feels out of place. Plus, we haven't seen Love and Thunder, Thor Love and Thunder yet. We haven't watched that one.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a couple of things that was kind of like, huh? It's like, I'm sure that was in Love and Thunder, or this got explained in Love and Thunder, or
A little bit. Basically Guns N' Roses.
we'll eventually get around to watching Love and Thunder. We're just behind. It's rare that we have time. It was kind of one of those things that we looked at it. We're like, oh, do we have time to watch this? It's like, oh, it's only 44 minutes. Done. We can knock this out. Well, Kidder, I don't know about you. I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about because we don't have a run sheet. And
I mean, it should be fine because I haven't really caught up on wrestling. Tried playing Battlefield 2042, but haven't had much time for that either. Haven't really done a lot in the way of watching other stuff. And I think I talked about how I watched Black Adam.
yes.
A week or 2 or 3 ago.
Yeah.
And the Marvel Christmas special there, Guardians of the Galaxy, was really the only thing new or different that I've watched aside from Star Trek Prodigy, which their episodes, again, being 24 minutes, very agitating.
Yeah. So we might as well wrap this show up and put a nice tidy bow on it and call it a show. But of course, to do that, we of course got to tell you all about where you can find the show, where you can find our merch, all of that in a section we like to call cheap plugs.
Well, yes, Howie Blues, cheap plugs, cheap enough, just like our glasses. Yes, you can get a pint glass, beerbluesbs.com. You see the website right there at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this, or in the show notes if you're listening to this, or on this glass if you're watching this as I'm holding it, beerbluesbs.com, our website. All you have to do when you get there, click on merch right at the top, or if your phone is all small and stuff, click the little hamburger. That's the 3 lines. That's what they call it on web design, the hamburger. Click that and then click merch. Peruse our web store and you could get a shirt like Howie Blues has there. It's been a week. Perhaps become part of the National Shoveling League or the Lawn Mowing League. Many different things. beerbluesbs.com. Click merch. Also, while you're there, you can buy us a beer. We'd love for you to do that. Buy us a beverage. And got to thank Local Geek for those 2 rounds and his buddy. Big thank you going out to Local Geek and Company for the so far 2 tasty Idaho beers, helping to fill out our list. We'd love to hear some recommendations from you on other beers from around the country. Drop us some comments in the show notes right here on the episode, or send us a message or comment on our Facebook page or Instagram. Got a lot of stuff happening out there. So where are we? Where can you comment? All of the above, of course. Facebook, search Beer Blues BS. Same thing with Instagram. We are at Beer Blues BS. Also on YouTube at Beer Blues BS. And, of course, on our website, beerbluesbs.com. Search the audio places where you love to listen to podcasts for Beer, Blues, and BS. We are on there. We're available. We'd love for you to subscribe, like, and share. We are on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. Search Beer, Blues, and BS. Also, while you're on Spotify, you can subscribe and like the Killer Kidder Show from my personally curated list of awesomeness in the rock and other genres. A huge list available for you on demand. iHeartRadio, not quite. They don't have the rights to my awesomeness just with this show. It's on Spotify. The whole playlist right there, the Killer Kidder Show. Search it and please subscribe for free. Lots of free stuff, beerbluesbs.com. Like, share, subscribe. wish you and yours a very successful, healthy, and prosperous 2023. Looking forward to a lot of things here in the new year. So thank you for being part of the show with all of us, as in Howard Blues. He's on the other side of this thing. Rude Boy Kyle, Brother Nico, JS Gunslinger, Local Geek, Farva, Big D, Midnight Rocker 101, DK 5000, man, Brother Smalls, can't forget about him. That's 10 of the biggest personalities you can ever hope to see and or meet. And we got more coming at you here in 2023. Episode 100 right around the corner. So let's wrap this one up and get one step closer to that century mark. I'm the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Kidder. Thanks for joining us for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Remember, keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we'll catch you on down that icy Tuscan highway. Have a good one. See you on the next Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
All right. Good show.
That upload is completed.
Woohoo.
In case you want to see it.
I'll get around to it. Because I'll download it and all of that. And I'm not signed into the drive. And excuses. So
Here I was really hoping that you would and see what it is, and you could let me know. And
fine. Some of us just want to go to bed, but
well, that's coming soon.
yeah, just gotta finish cleaning the house tomorrow. We're pretty close to done, but it takes longer when there's kids.
Yeah.
So, okay. Share with me. That should be shared drives, wouldn't it? Yes.
There's a shooting at Mall of America just before 8 p.m. tonight.
Ugh.
Where a victim was shot multiple times and 19-year-old is dead.
I just don't know, kidder. Just don't know.
About the world?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, am I looking at Triple B top of show?
Yeah.
So as this is loading up, is this supposed to be like a new intro, or the video is still processing? This video is large, so it may take a while. Try again later. Learn more.
Yeah, perfect. That's for right at the top of the show. Before you do your preview.
Yeah. I have found some music that I've been using for that preview that I think would work.
I didn't put any audio with that for you.
Yeah, which is just fine. I'm just thinking about it like when the next time we redo the intro. I might try and put together a little bit of a track to kind of work for that. Because like I said, like I don't mind doing the previews, like the little intro thing that I've been doing. But it's kind of weird to go right from that where I'm trying to bring a little bit of high energy into it, and then our intro is kind of slow. So we may want to look at eventually redoing the intro. Not that you want to hear that. Oh my gosh, it's going to take me an hour to download the damn thing.
There's also the 2 copyrights for you there.
Okay.
Perfect, right?
Yeah. So I see the copyrights. So that's good. But yeah, I think I have found a different track that I think would work for an intro.
Sure.
So it's as I said, it's the one I've been using kind of when I've been doing the previews, kind of that hard, a little bit harder rock sound to it. But not like it's got a bit of a bluesy take to it. And then I found a track that has some drums that I kind of want to kind of splice the two together because it's the one is just literally a drum track, but it's like just to put a little, and go into that rock sound. Because I just, the thing since I've started doing that intro is it's like, it just kind of feels like I've given this little thing trying to get people psyched up for the show, and then we slow them right down with that intro.
Yeah.
So I'll try and get that put together so that the next time you want to play around with the intro.
Sure.
I think we have enough sound clips that could work to cut it down, Like, I think you could, cut it to something along the lines of, just even if it's the kind of what's at the end of what our current intro is, Our Blues and Mark Kidder invite you to pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, and enjoy time with friends. Kind of that last little clip of it. Just cut it down even more. Like, get people to the show faster. That's my thought.
Yeah, that could work.
And have nice little bit of a rockin' intro into the show. And then I'll use the same old blues track on the outro. I think that's fine.
Sure.
So
very good.
I don't know. Changes. Never hurts to change from time to time.
Yeah, a little something.
Yeah. Until we get somebody who's like, hey, here's the perfect track that I made for you guys. Ew. Time to change my paint water. There's stuff floating in there.
Uh-oh. Now you did it.
I don't know if you can. Probably can't see that on camera, but. Ugh. Rinse my dropper bottle. One more thing to do tomorrow. Nope, still processing.
Yeah, it'll probably probably process for quite a while.
Mhm. So, unfortunately, Kidder, you won't get my feedback then tonight.
Well, I guess that's just how it's gonna have to be.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and watch it though at some point and let you know.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, set her for download. Let it roll. You can see it
already
tomorrow.
am. Yeah, it was already downloaded.
Perfect.